we're back in the Focus. Engine rebuilt and installed. We're going on an adventure today to find a anniversary present for my wife. And so we're going to take the Focus out and we're going to end out this video. So I'll kind of go over what happened. Don't know how much I covered in the video because it was really cold out and this was blown up, and I started work at my new job the Monday after the Friday I started working on it. Also been driving the Civic a lot recently, and this is a whole different goddams. This clutch actually feels like a clutch compared to the one in that thing. Holy shit. All right, so basically we were driving down the road and we lost the belt. It kicked it. I had no power steering. That's how I knew. I looked up my beautiful gauge pods that I installed up here, and I had about 11.5 volts, and we were sitting at about 220-ish degrees. And I was like, crap, the belt had been off for a minute and I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. Mainly because we were driving straight and I wasn't paying a big old attention. And she let go. It split the radiator, and it split one of the upper radiator hoses. It was a bad time. So we went ahead and pulled the motor out, went through the whole thing. The reason it kicked the belt off is because the cam seals would leak real bad. It'd leak oil down onto the belt, and so we resealed the whole motor, everything new except for the head gasket. And she's back alive. Did it in a garage over a weekend, so you know, it's not that difficult. But I got the bike and I got some cash. It's $100 to tow this thing 2 miles to the fucking house. I gotta rebuild this motor. The oil leak made the belt kick again. So we're gonna hit in there all the grunk that's in there, and I'll show you all after. And then we're gonna hit this dirty mug. All right, so I'm gonna put you on a time lapse while I do that. It's not perfect, but it is definitely cleaner. So that's good. Now we can get all the stuff apart and off of it, all the extras. I'll push it in there, and I'll find somewhere to put all my bolts and stuff. I'll probably push the bike out, and I'll scoot all this over, and I'll bring her up here, and I'll take all the extras and I'll lay all my parts out here. And then we're going to start figuring out why she's such a leaky boy. Well, I've done a pretty horrible job at recording any of this. We've seen pretty terrible YouTubers. So this is where we're at, right? I got the engine completely torn down as far as I'm going to go. I threw my cam seals in the top. And you see all my oils pulling down and down and down and down. Okay, so we got an oil pump off. We're going to reseal here. We're going to reseal our upper and lower oil pan. And that should be pretty dialed on the motor sakes. I found that bolts are falling out of the clutch. And if you look really close, I don't know if y'all can tell, the clutch pressure plate is not flat, which is something that I kind of figured was happening based off how I was driving. So we got a new clutch here for it. And then, like I said before, we're going to do a lift kit on the car. So I removed the sway bar to help with off-road capabilities. Took it out. And I got all my suspension out in the front. So we're pretty much back in reassembly. And I'm going to try to remember to record as much of it as I can for you guys. And also remember any side projects I needed to remind myself to do while this is out. Like, you know, maybe make the rest of the red disappear. I don't know if we have time for all that though. This is a pretty rush job now. Gotta get through it pretty quick. But yeah, stay tuned. So we got the upper pan on. So now we got to reseal the lower pan. Now we got to... Alright, we got our upper pan on. Now we got to install our lower pan. We're going to get everything cleaned up. Well, first we got to put our oil pickup on. Then we're going to get it. Alright, we got our upper pan on. We got this starting to get cleaned up. We're going to put our pickup on. And we're going to install our lower pan. And then we got to do the water assembly for the water pump and everything like that. And then we'll be able to start timing the motor, valve cover, clutch, on transmission, work on getting back in the car. The GoPro has gotten cold because it was 70 degrees out yesterday. I left it in the garage and then it froze. Everything froze overnight. So it seems to be a little angry today. So I'm going to do some phone recording today to the best of our ability. I'll try to remember to pick it up and update you. Hey, the timing belts. We had that set, but it looks like it moved, so we're gonna adjust that. But you know, we're a little uppies. Made sure I was top dead center. I pulled a plug out to do that. Cams, everything's all where it needs to be. We're basically to assembly. Yeah, timing marks there. That one's over there. I installed the crossbar like you're supposed to. Bought that off of Amazon years ago. So, yeah. Coming together. New timing belt, resealed upper and lower oil pan, new cam seals. We're going to readjust this tensioner here because it's a little extreme, but you know, ta-da, here we go. We got our valve cover back on. It's kind of starting to look like an engine again. Looking all nice and stuff. So that's what we're gonna install our ignition leads. And that leaves the top end basically all sealed back up. So now we're gonna go and do intake and accessory drives and all that stuff. We'll get all the accessories put on here and get it basically ready to, it's basically to the point of assembled. And then we'll pull it off here. We'll get the clutch put on it, made it to the transmission. She'll be ready to go in the car. Don't let the sun fool you. It's called Southman clutch. Installed. Look. That's how easy that should just so you know. All right. So we're gonna throw a slave cylinder in that guy. And then I'm going to mate together. And then I think I'm gonna be done for today. I'll be ready to go in the car. Now the accessory drive on. All the stuffs. It's like really, really looking like an engine again. This is very nice. Very, very nice indeed. So, yeah. Here we're at. I'm going to throw the intake manifold on and get all these connectors ready this time. And then we're going to move on to getting it off of here, getting some of this mess cleaned up, and getting a clutch put on. Thank you. Okay, so your boy did a pretty horrible job at filming anything. From the rebuild in there, all resealed, back together. It's in there, it's been started, all of the things. Currently, I misplaced the drain for the radiator, so we were waiting on one of them. So I'm going to install a catch can. It's just a little 6-speed blue, and we're gonna put it right in here. Not gonna be able to be seen. Right there on my cold air intake, be able to be drained when you drain the oil. So I'm gonna try to film that and it finishing back up and all the things, and we'll go through this together. A nutsert tool. So I drilled my holes and I'm going to install this nutsert on there. All I'm going to do is press it into the hole and squeeze. And then I can just thread that guy right out. Get it nice and started. Squeeze out. If you're fabricating anything, that guy, life. Got it all connected here. Lines ran in down to the PCV port down there, and then into my other hose, which goes to the back of my intake manifold. Now all I got to do is run one from here down to the intake, like this AEM intake's designed, and we will be pretty much back to rocking and rolling. We got to bleed the clutch and fill with coolant once we get the coolant pipe, and then we'll be putting the front end back on and seeing how she drives, which makes me excited. I don't know, getting her back on the road, mainly getting her moved, because next episode, I mean, Civic build, yeah, you know, like I said, your boy loves throwing good money after bad. All right, so we're getting this guy back together. We're pretty close. I'm going to assemble the nose do some wire management, and then when the kids wake up from the nap, we're gonna fire back up, bleed coolant and everything like that. My daughter's bedroom is literally within 2 feet of my fucking shit, so we're gonna and get it back together, and then we'll hopefully take it for a test drive today. Got her done. So that's Henthorn's performance. That's the Focus build. As you can see, she's up and driving with its new clutch and some other bits and bobs, but you saw them in the video. I know. I'll catch you guys later.